On today's video, I'm providing some additional inspiration for the Hero Arts Winter Wreath die sets. So on yesterday's video, we created these two cards. We were working with the Hero Arts Winter Wreath cutting die and the accessory die. And we also used the front door stencil from Hero Arts, and we created these two cards. I wanted to kind of follow up that video with another card using the smaller wreath set that comes with this. So we've got the winter wreath. We used the big ones yesterday. I want to use the smaller ones for today's video, and I want to use the joy, the smaller joy. And I've got an idea for a card, and I just wanted to show you another way that you could use this set and create a card. In fact, we might do a couple. I'm also going to bring in the accessory die because I want to bring in a smaller bow. This particular one has a big bow, and I'm going to make 3 wreaths with this one, so I want a smaller bow. And so I'm going to bring in this bow here, which is the smallest one, and we'll be able to put a bow on each one of them. And I think I'm also going to bring in maybe the, I don't know if I want to use these or the smaller ones. We'll die cut them both out and see. What I'm thinking is putting some berries on our wreaths. And this is going to be a traditional Christmas color scheme that we're going to use, and be a little bit different from the blue and the gray that we used on our other cards. So what I'm planning to do is we'll just lay these pieces aside. I'm going to bring in some of my fern cardstock from Spellbinders, and we're going to die cut our wreath out 3 times. This is the bottom layer, and this is the top layer that you would layer on there. So I want to use my Scout. So what I'm going to do is just kind of cut my panel down so that it will fit through here, and then I can run each one through there. So I'll just grab my Tim Holtz scissors, and I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to give myself just enough room so that I can get enough out of each of these, and we'll do it that way. I'm going to make sure I can get 2 out of this and then 1 out of that, which I can. And so we'll cut them down like that, and hopefully that'll be enough. Yeah, that should work. And so we'll use these 2 larger panels for the bigger one and then the smaller. So we're going to do 3. Oops. So what I'm going to do with this one is, pardon the screech, we'll go ahead and do 2 out of this, 1 larger and 1 smaller, and that way we can do 2 passes. And the cardstock sheets are not wide enough for all of them. So we know that we will have to get 3 passes of the smaller one. So we'll go 2 out of this, and then we can get 2 out of this since it is wider. Just kind of cutting that A2 size panel down that I already had prepared, and using it for all 6 of the pieces that we're going to die cut out. So there we go. So we've got the large ones and then the small ones. Now for the berries, I'm going to use poppy cardstock. I have a scrap of this. All of this is, well, this was a panel, but I'm going to use scraps for the most part. Love being able to use my scraps for, just kind of busting up my scraps and kind of getting rid of them. And I'm not sure which size berries I'm going to use, so we're just going to die cut them both out. We'll use the poppy for that. I think I want my wreaths in the red as well. So we'll go ahead and get that, and then we'll come back in and we'll do an additional bow. Did I say wreath? I meant bow. So we'll just get these. And okay, and so what I'm going to do, just so I can keep track of everything, I'm just going to bring in a piece of my washi tape, and we'll just pick up all of these pieces off of there with that, and then I won't have to worry about losing anything. I'll have them all nicely contained there together so I don't lose them. It's just kind of a quick little hack that I do so that I don't lose my pieces parts. It looks like I've got one more circle on there that I can pick up, but and those came out. So let's go ahead and just pull this off of here. We've got a circle there. I'll lay it down there, and we'll just pick all this up with our tape, just like we did, and we won't lose any pieces parts. This is just helpful when you've got itty bitty pieces and you don't want to lose them. Just use your tape and pick them up with that. So there's that. And then for our joy, I've got some scraps of, I thought I had some smaller pieces here. Let's see, what have I got? Yeah, I've got a smaller piece here that I think will work just fine for the joy. And I'm just gonna lay it down on here, and we'll die cut our joy out. I think I'll put the O down there because I need a little bit wider space for that. And then for this, I'm gonna bring in just a sheet of copy paper and just lay it over that because my plates are messy and I wanna try and keep it as nice as I can. And then we'll get our joy. And then that will be, I think, all of the elements that we're gonna need for our card. So, let me see, where are my tweezers at? Here they are. We'll just grab our J, our O, and our Y. And we'll get all of our dies put away. All right, let's just kind of clean up our space. Let's go ahead and get our wreaths assembled. And this is gonna be fairly simple. It's gonna be kind of a clean and simple card, what I have in my mind. Whoops, it's gonna be a little bit messy here. And I'm just gonna dab some glue all the way around here, and then we'll just layer it up on our bottom layer. And if you want more dimension, you can certainly bring in some foam and put between there, but I'm not gonna mess with it. So we've got all three of our wreaths here, and we'll give that a press. And what I'm planning to do is to bring my O in the center of that, and then my Y, and then my J. And we're gonna keep it real simple and clean. We've got red bows, and I only did 2 of them. I need a third. I just realized that. There we go, now we've got everything we need. So we have kind of the basis for what we're gonna do with our card. And I'm gonna bring in another panel that we can put our joy on, and then we're actually going to stencil our background panel with this stencil here. So let me get set up for that, and we'll come back in and do it. Okay, so we're just gonna get these pieces out of the way. We'll just put them off to the side. We're gonna bring in our stencil, and I'm just gonna bring in my sticky mat. So we'll just get this laid down on there and lined up, and then we'll create our home panel is what we're gonna do. So we'll get that. I'm gonna grab a couple of inks and some blending brushes, and we're gonna get to going on this. Okay, so we've got our colors and I've got our brushes. We're gonna start off with Lumberjack Plaid, and we're gonna bring in just a bold red color, and we'll just get to stencil on this. Now I'm gonna hold this down so it doesn't move on me, and we'll just get this stenciled up. And just trying to hold those in place. They move, they're pretty flimsy. They move a little bit, so I'm hoping to be able to maintain the pattern. Now my fingers are gonna get covered in the ink, but I'm gonna try and get the pattern on there. So I'll finish this up and we'll come back in, and then we'll have our panel ready. Okay, so we've got our first layer done, and I'm just gonna lift it up, and we've got a nice, red pattern there. So we'll just move this aside. We're gonna go ahead and get our second one lined up. I've got red ink all over my fingers. We're gonna get our next layer laid down on there, and I need to get it turned in the right direction, like this. And I've got the marks right there on my sticky mat that I can line it right up with and hopefully get it where I need it to be. I made sure that I marked those up. And so we'll just bring this in, tape it down, and we'll get to laying our twisted citron down on there. And I'm just going to use a bigger blending brush for this and try to hold it down. This one will go quicker because we've got the bigger brush and it's not as flimsy as the first layer. So I can be a little bit more aggressive with it. So just trying to get plenty of ink on here. And we're going to have our traditional Christmas background panel. And I did use this stencil in a live the other night in which we worked with some other hero art collection called Vintage Vinyl, and it was super fun. If I think about it, I'll link that up above so that you can check it out. Okay, and I think we've got our green on there pretty well. That looks pretty good. Now we'll just pull that off. And we've got just a fun pattern there. You can see we've got two together and then a single and then two, and it's just kind of a fun pattern. So for my third layer, okay, so I've just got this Hero Hues Unicorn Pigment ink. Hopefully it'll work. I don't know. I don't think I've ever stenciled with a pigment ink before, so hopefully this will add. And this is not a very good brush, but I don't have a white brush. This is all I've got, so we're just gonna go with it and hope that it'll work out all right. And just have a little white, kind of a white star on all of them. It's gonna take a minute, so I'll just continue on doing this and then we'll come back in and see the finished result. Okay, so that was a bit tedious with that tiny brush. I tried to bring in a Simon Says stamp brush and use it. And we did get it. We got some little splotches here and there on it, but I think it'll be okay. And we've got kind of a fun Christmas background panel with the red and the green. And so we're going to use that for our home panel. Okay. And so I'll just grab a couple of A2 card bases and we'll come back in and we'll work with this. Okay, so we've got our home panel. And I'm just going to bring in a top folding card base. We are going to cut this down to 4 1/4. We've already got 5 1/2. And we're going to use this for our home panel. And so I'm just going to take it to 4 1/4. Is that right? Yeah. 4 1/4. And we've got this nice little strip here left over that we can use as well. And I'm going to get this laid down on here. So this is going to be a fairly simple card, but I wanted to show you some additional uses for this product and how you can get a lot of different looks with it. And so we'll show you that. So I've got this Twinkle Toes stencil is really fun, I think. I think it's a really fun design for this. And I'm thinking my card base must be slightly off, so I'm going to line this up to one side. Get it lined up nice and neat. Take it to my guillotine and hack that off. And there we go. Very nice. Okay. So for our wreaths, I wanted a landing zone for it, so I just took this white panel and I just embossed it. And I thought this would be a nice place to kind of ground our wreaths. Now I've got this foam tape that my grandson had just trashed and I really need to get it off my desk. So we're gonna just use it and pop this panel up and hopefully we can get rid of it and then I don't have it laying in a little mess on my desk here. So we'll just do 3 layers of it. Probably don't need that much, but trying to get it out of here. He had taken this and decided to wrap it around himself like a belt multiple times. And so I threw that part away, I think, and then I had this little bit here left. So he actually will turn 4 at the end of this month. And usually they don't mess with stuff in the craft room too much, but he, I guess, got in here and decided to do his thing, and I didn't know it, so. All right, so we'll try to get that straightened up on there, and we're just gonna try and line this up with the kind of the lines on my glass mat, and hopefully we'll get it somewhat centered. That's not bad, maybe not perfect. And so we've got that, and then we're going to bring our little wreaths in like this and position them, and then we'll have our joy hopefully in the center of them. We might have a little challenge getting it to be glued down nice because I've used that embossed panel, but I just wanted that little extra detail. So I was looking for my scissors. Let's go ahead and, whoops, there's my tape for my stencil. We'll get that out of the way. We're gonna get some glue laid down on here. And I think I had them positioned pretty well, like that. So I'm gonna pick this one up and lay it down. And try to keep my distance from top and bottom, and then we'll bring our next one in. And I'm using a good amount of, kind of a good amount of glue on here just to make sure that it adheres to that embossed panel. And we'll get it laid down on here. And then we're gonna go ahead and put our joy in the center of it. Now I did cover that up, but it has a little bit of, almost looks like there's a little pattern or something to it, but on the gold. Okay, and then we're just going to try and center this inside of our circle and hope that we get some adherence. I think if we leave it alone long enough, it'll be okay. That looks pretty good. And then let's get our O. Our O and joy. And we'll try to center it. I don't think that's too bad. And then we're going to add some bells and whistles to the wreath that will help it to look a little bit nicer. And we'll get this centered. Now we have these bows for each one of these, and we'll just go ahead and get them all assembled. We're gonna have to pop out the little pieces there. And you have the ribbon and then the knot that goes with it. So we'll just put a little glue down on our ribbons. I think it goes that way. That's how we're gonna assemble them. And straighten it up a little bit. We'll put a little bit of glue on there for our knot. Looking for my tools that I need here. And we'll get this laid down on there. And then I'll go ahead and do the other 3, and then we'll come back in and lay them down. Okay, so we've got all 3 of our bows die cut out that we created, and we're just gonna get them laid down on each one of our little wreaths. And I'm just gonna position it right underneath our letter. And we're just gonna put a good amount of glue on there and just give it a little press and line them up. Now I did die cut out the red, kind of the, I don't know, holly berries or whatever to put on there, but I thought since we used the gold that we would add some gold as well. So we're just gonna put some red ones, and then we'll put some gold ones on here, and it will kind of just add a little bit extra to it. Now our reds don't exactly match, but I think it's gonna be all right. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're just gonna mix them up, is what I'm gonna do. And I'm using the smaller ones. I'm not opting for the bigger ones that I had cut out. I I just decided to use all of the small ones and not use kind of the multi-sized ones. I'll get that laid down on there. I like the red. It definitely jazzes our wreath up a little bit without, you know, without going overboard. I know a lot of times I do a lot of extra pieces and stuff, and so I'm kind of keeping it a little bit more simple here. Okay, get that laid down on there. Hopefully those all stick. Now we'll just kind of come in and go between them, and we're going to add our gold. And I think it's cute. I think it's a cute little use of the set, just to show you another way, you know, the smaller wreath and everything, and then to use the stencil with it. Now I've got another one I want to show you as well. I'm going to bring in another top folding card base, and I'm going to bring in, I used the large joy that was included with the set, and I just die cut it out of this poppy red cardstock, and I've got the center to the O that we can use in there. And I thought we could bring our stenciled panel back in and have a second card. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get this panel laid down on here. It's going to be pretty simple, and hopefully it will line up nicely with my card base. I won't have to cut it. We shall see. I'm just going to line it up in this corner, and if we have to cut it, we'll cut it. It looks like it's a pretty good fit. Okay, and so what I'm going to do so that I get that to center exactly where it needs to be is I'm going to lay this back in there, and then we'll put some glue on this, and we'll get it laid in there, and that will help me to have it in just the right spot that it needs to go. And then we'll turn that over, and we've got that. And then we have this panel here that we can lay down on it. And I think we're just going to kind of go in between there like that. We'll get some glue on here and get it laid down. And we've got a fairly simple card there where we have used the larger one, and I think it looks pretty neat. We could go ahead and let's go ahead and take that large bow that is included with this wreath set and add it to it. So I've got that bow die cut out and assembled, and I thought we would just lay it on here just for a little extra interest. It's a very simple card, but I thought it'd be fun to bring that back in and to just have a little interest. So if you liked yesterday's videos where we used the big wreath, this winter wreath set from Hero Arts, then I thought you might like this video. And if you happen to pick up the winter wreath set after watching yesterday's video, this will provide some additional inspiration on how to use it. So super fun, very festive, very traditional colors for it, and I hope you like it. I've taken a picture of the two cards so that you can get a close-up look at it. And if you've enjoyed this video, here are a couple more that you might want to check out.